wise about donating to veterans. And he called the military that I served in a disaster. It's embarrassing enough that he's the face of one of our political parties. The real disaster would be if we let Donald Trump become the face of the country that we love. 120 security leaders, Republican national security leaders, recently John McCain. I served in the same Navy as John McCain. Donald, you're not fit to polish John McCain's boots. But, America, we have a better choice. Hillary Clinton is the only candidate who knows how to work with our allies, who has a specific plan to defeat ISIS. She's smart and she's steady. She has the experience, the temperament, and the spine to be a superb commander-in-chief. She knows what makes us the envy of the world. It's not our abundant natural resources, or our resilient economy, or even that we have the strongest military on earth. Our strength comes from who we are and who we've always been, our humanity. If we lose our humanity, we lose the battle and we lose the war. ISIS and other radical groups have no humanity. That's their weakness. Our enemy can't defeat us militarily. Victory for them won't be found on the battlefield. For them, victory is to make us more like them. People who torture, who destabilize the international order, who target innocents because they don't look like them and don't pray like them. Donald Trump is a walking, talking recruiting poster for terrorists. And that's not hyperbole. That's not hyperbole. ISIS, you can tell a lot about a person by whom they admire. Dorothy Rado. These are Hillary Clinton's heroes. Donald Trump? Well, Donald Trump admires Donald Trump. And Saddam Hussein, and Kim Jong-un, and of Vladimir Putin, he said, and I quote, in terms of leadership, he's getting an A. I taught national security law. Praising dictators was an automatic F in my class. Let me tell you something. As the dean of the union and the most knowledgeable, she listened carefully to our arguments. She tested us. We had more than 500 years of collective experience, and we learned from her. And this was before the ceasefire in Gaza. Iran has hurt our reputation in the world. Anyone who served with the young men and women of our send them in harm's way. When you're a soldier, say But when you're a citizen, you have the responsibility to choose a commander-in-chief who will keep us safe, strong, and choose Hillary. Thank you all.
Coming up next is Christian Kavanaugh, graduated from the United States Naval Academy, served in Iraq, former Marine. She is co-founder of what's called the Military Acceptance Project, which, according to the DNC, promotes acceptance of marginalized groups within the military.
At the age of 24, I deployed to Iraq. I would hear the sounds of the artillery battery returning fire, and the quick reaction force helicopters taking off, along with special operations teams and Marine infantry battalions stationed with us, were our first line of defense. I trusted them with my life. I trusted that my commanders had the right strategy. I trusted that we were abiding by the enemy. Of the chain of command. Hillary Clinton to be commander-in-chief. She understands the importance of a strong military and diplomacy. She knows we're stronger with our government and the military is defined by discipline, leadership, integrity. Those are the qualities that drew me to serve. And those are the very qualities that Donald Trump lacks. He suggests abandoning our closest allies. He praises dictators who killed Americans. He says we should allow more countries to get nuclear weapons. His recklessness means more deployments for my friends, more families separated, and more young heroes never coming home. When he says he would expand torture, kill civilians, or force the military to commit war crimes, he's defying the values that every service member is taught on day one. He's defying the values we risk our lives to defend. This election isn't just about Donald Trump's judgment. It's about our own. Our troops, our nation cannot afford for us to get this wrong. Thank you.
Leon Panetta is coming out next. He's the first served, obviously, the CIA director from 2009 to 2011 and the Secretary of Defense from 2011 to 2013.
At this hour, in some very dangerous corners of the world, army and intelligence professionals are on the front lines, far from home. A commander-in-chief has... I
alongside 9 presidents, Republican and Democrat, all experienced, all believing in the U.S. role in world leadership. And I can tell you this, that in this election, there is only for president who has the experience, the temperament, and that's Hillary Clinton. This is no time. This is no time to gamble with our future. America faces flashpoints. That president is Hillary Clinton. During my time as CIA director, order of our efforts to protect our homeland, we debated that fateful decision about the risks of that operation. And when the president went around the country security leadership, there were concerns. But Hillary was clear. We have to go after. And our special operations forces, God bless them, did just that. Hillary is al-Shabaab, terrorists who pervert the teachings of Islam. His families celebrating on the beachfront in France, and women shopping in a market in Baghdad. And just this week, an 85-year-old priest whose throat was slit by terrorists who stormed his church during Mass. These murderers must be stopped. Hillary Clinton is the only candidate who has laid out a comprehensive plan to defeat and to destroy ISIS and keep America safe. She is smart, she is principled, she is tough, and she is ready. Hillary Clinton is the single most experienced and prepared person who has ever run for President of the United States.
What?
She's the most prepared and experienced person ever to run for
Donald
president.
Trump
Yeah, she is.
says he gets his foreign policy experience from watching TV and running the Miss Universe pageant. If only it were funny, but it isn't. Donald Trump uses torture, spurns our allies from Europe to Asia, suggests that countries have nuclear weapons, and he say to Vladimir Putin, today, only today, let me point out something that just happened today. Donald Trump today once again took Russia's side to engage in hacking or intelligence efforts against the United States of America to affect an election. And my grandchildren, Donald Trump cannot be in an unstable world. America should withdraw from the world. son would grow up to be Secretary of Defense. The American dream and die for America. We deserve a serious commander-in-chief. If we care about the American dream, there is only one choice: Hillary Clinton for President of the United States. God bless you. God bless America. We have the former Defense Secretary speaking. Jake, we kept hearing interruptions, people shouting no more war, then some shouting love Trump's hate, then you heard USA, USA.
Well, what was going on is it appears that some Sanders supporters are protesting Leon Panetta speaking. They seem to the Clinton people organize counter-protests.
Here comes Dr. Jill Biden. She released a video, a tribute to her husband, the Vice President, who was speaking immediately following the video tribute.
Thank you. It's great to be back in Philly. To serve as Second Lady of the United States for the past 8 years. It's been an honor. And let me thank you. Over the past 8 years, the Joe Biden that I know and love. He's honest and strong, principled and compassionate. He was authentic long before it became a buzzword in politics. He understands that working people are the backbone of this nation. And he has tremendous empathy for those who need. That we have a special obligation to our military and their families. He has a deep commitment to justice, and he has spent his whole career standing up to the abuse of power. He knows at its best of the heart, and he remains today, even after all he's been through, the most optimistic person I know.
You know, my dad used to have an expression. He said, it's a lucky person gets up in the morning, puts both feet on the floor, knows what they're about to do, and thinks it still matters.
For over 40 years, Joe Biden has had the courage to speak out and lead on the toughest issues facing America.
When I wrote the Violence Against Women Act back in 1989, I think people, although they cared about it, thought maybe not much we can do about it.
But he saw an injustice too great to ignore. Violence against women was a moral stain on the conscience of a nation.
We created a civil cause of action to empower women who are abused in this country.
For millions of women, the Violence Against Women Act has provided protection, support, and the ability to rebuild their lives. Apartheid in South Africa offended everything we stood for as a nation, but America was slow to act.
I'm ashamed of the lack of moral backbone to this policy. These people are dying. You feel frustration, they're dying. They're being shot. They're shooting children. Our loyalty is not to South Africa, it's to South Africans.
Genocide in Bosnia challenged the world.
A war criminal. It's truly a shame what we're allowing to happen. We're actively, as the free world, like cowards.
In the 1990s, the NRA threatened anyone who crossed them. Joe Biden took them on.
We will not step back from the commitment we have made to the American people to give them safe streets. That's why we fought the gun lobby and passed the ban on assault weapons.
It's the kind of courage we need today in Congress to stand up to the NRA. When the freedom to love who you choose is denied by our own government, Joe Biden said, no more.
And what this is all about is a simple proposition. Who do you love? Who do you love? And will you be loyal to the person you love? And that's what people are finding out. What all marriages are rooted about. Whether they're marriages of lesbians or gay men or heterosexuals.
It's over. The long constitutional debate on whether gay couples have a constitutional right to marry is over, and the answer is yes.
For Joe Biden, served.
For all of us.
And for those military families who have lost loved ones, who have sacrificed the most, he's offered hope.
There will come a day when the thought of your son or daughter, or your husband or wife, brings a or brings a tear to your eye. It will happen. My prayer for you is that day will come sooner or later. But the only thing I works I believe we need a moonshot in this country to cure cancer. It's personal. Like many of you, I've experienced in my family a dreaded C word. Every year around the world, 14 million people are diagnosed with cancer. We are going to fundamentally change the face of cancer.
And because he's gone to the mat for all of us on so many issues over the past 40 years, I'm putting Joe in charge of mission control.
In the last 22 years, violence against women has dropped 64%, and more people are reporting it. But the one place it hasn't changed is on college campuses.
Today, he's leading a movement to end sex abuse on college campuses.
Unfortunately, 1 in 5 women will be the victim of a sexual assault while a student. And that's why we launched the It's On Us campaign. It says, 1, I promise to intervene when I see something. 2, I promise to create an environment where sexual assault is unacceptable. And 3, no consent means no.
A gut-wrenching story that has gone viral.
Vice President Joe Biden has written a heartfelt letter to the survivor.
I do not know your name, but your words are forever seared in my soul. Your words will help people you have never met. You've given them the strength they need to fight. I do not know your name, but I will never forget you.
Let's change the culture so that no abused woman or man ever feel they have to ask themselves, what did I do? They did nothing wrong.
It was the great battles over civil rights and the Vietnam War that brought Joe Biden to public life. And he hasn't flinched or walked away from the great battles that have driven and defined this nation ever since. His has been a quest. He's forced us all to look deep in our souls and ask, is this who we are as a nation? And perhaps more importantly, is this who we want to be?
I am more optimistic about America's chances today than I have been my entire life.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden.
that song.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, 8 years ago, I stood on a stage in Denver, and I accepted your nomination to be Vice President of the United States. And every single day since then, it's been the honor of our lives for Jill and me. Every day, we've been grateful to Barack and Michelle for asking them to join us in this and join them in that incredible journey. A journey that can only happen in America. But we not only have worked together, as it becomes pretty obvious, we become friends. We're now family. We're family. Folks, you've all seen over the last 8 years what President Obama means to this country. He's the embodiment. He is the embodiment of honor, resolve, and character. One of the finest presidents we have ever had. That's right. This is a man of character. Michelle, I don't know where you are, kid, but you're incredible. You are incredible. And I was talking to Barack today. It's no longer who's going to give the best speech. We already know who did that. You were incredible Monday night. As they say in southern Delaware. Barack and I married way up. Way up. Folks, tonight I see so many friends and colleagues like my buddy Chris Dodd and the Connecticut delegation. So many people here. I see the faces of those who have believed in Barack and me. So many faces. But one. This is kind of a bittersweet moment for Jill and me and our family. In 2008, when he was about to deploy to Iraq, and again in 2012, our son Bo introduced me to the country and placed my name in nomination.
Yes!
You got a glimpse. I know I sound like a dad, but you got a glimpse what an incredibly fine young man Bo was. Thank you. Allie and his 2 kids are here tonight. And afterwards, many are places. I've been made strong at the broken places by my love, Jill, by my heart, my son Hunter, and the love of my life, my Ashley, and by all of you. And I mean this sincerely. Those who've been through this, you know I mean what I say. By all of you, your love, your prayers, your support. But you know what? We think about the countless thousands of other people who suffered so much more than we have, with so much less support,
so much less reason to go on. But they get up every morning, every day. They put one foot in front of the other. Keep going. That's the unbreakable spirit of the people of America. That's who we are. That's who we are. Don't forget it. Like the people in the neighborhood. She in Willow Grove and my down in Wilmington and Claymont. The kid in Claymont with the most courage, who always jumped in when you were double teamed or your back was against the wall, who became a cop because he always wanted to help people. The middle daughter of 3 daughters, who always made her mother smile, who was a hero to her sisters, now a major in the United States Marine Corps because, Mr. President, I wanted to serve my country. The teachers who Jill knows and so many of you know, who take money out of their own to buy pencils and notebooks for the students who can't afford them. Why? Why? Be for real. These are the people who are the heart and soul of this country. It's the America that I know. The America that Hillary knows and Tim Kaine knows. You know, I've known Hillary for well over 30 years. Before she was First Lady of the United States, when she became First Lady, we served together in the United States Senate, and during her years as Secretary of State, once a week, we had breakfast in my home, the Vice President's residence. Everybody knows she's smart. Everybody knows she's tough. But I know what she's passionate about. I know Hillary. Hillary understands. Hillary gets it. Hillary understands that college loan is about a lot more than getting a qualified student education. It's about saving the mom and the dad from the indignity of having to look at their talented child and say, Sonny, honey, I'm so sorry. I know that about Hillary. Hillary understood that for years, millions of people went to bed staring at the ceiling. Oh my God, what if I get breast cancer or he has a heart attack? I will lose everything. What will we do then? I know about Hillary Clinton. Ladies and gentlemen, we all understand what it will mean for our daughters and granddaughters when Hillary Clinton walks into the Oval Office as President of the United States of America. It will change their lives. My daughters and granddaughters can do anything any son or grandson can do. And she will prove it, Mr. Mayor. So let me say as clearly as I can. If you live in the neighborhoods like the one Jill and I grew up in, if you worry about your job and getting a decent pay, if you worry about your children's education, if you're taking care of an elderly parent, then there's only one person in this election who will help you. There's only one person in this race who will be there, who's always been there for you. And that's Hillary Clinton's life story. It's not just who she is, it's her life story. She's always there. She's always there. Ladies and gentlemen, to state the obvious, and I'm not trying to be a wise guy. I really mean it. That's not Donald Trump's story. Just listen to me a second without booing or cheering. I mean it sincerely. We should really think about this. His cynicism is unbounded. His lack of empathy and compassion summed up in a employees I suspect he's most proud of having made famous. You're fired. I mean, really, I'm not. Think about that. Think about that. Think about everything you learned as a child. No matter where you were raised. How can there be pleasure in saying you're fired? He's trying to tell us.
Well, did you say you were fired?
Give me a break.
Well,
That's a bunch of
did you say you were fired?
Yeah, Trump had this TV show called The Apprentice, where he got a bunch of people to work with him, and every week he said to somebody, "You're fired."
But isn't that what you're watching on Netflix?
Yeah. We should watch it on Netflix or something.
Never sure.
Whatever. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I know I'm called middle class Joe. In Washington, that's not meant as a compliment. It means you're not sophisticated. But I know why we're strong. I know why we have held together. I know why we are united. It's because there's always been a growing middle class. This guy doesn't have a clue about the middle class. Not a clue. Because, folks, when the middle class does well, the rich do very well and the poor have hope. They have a way up. He has no clue about what makes America great. Actually, he has no clue, period. But folks, you got it. Let me Let me say something that has nothing to do with politics. Let me talk about something that I am deadly. The threats are too great. The times are too uncertain. To elect Donald Trump as President of the United States. Now let me finish. No major party nominee of this nation has ever known less or has been less prepared to deal with our national security. We cannot elect a man who exploits our fears of ISIS and other terrorists, who has no plan whatsoever to make us safer. A man who embraces the tactics of our enemies, torture, religious aid in the fight against ISIS. Donald Trump, with all his rhetoric, would literally make us less safe. We cannot elect a man who belittles our closest allies while embracing dictators like Vladimir Putin. No, I mean it. A man who seeks to sow division in America for as Americans. Period. Folks, no one ever doubts I mean what I say. It's just that sometimes I say all that I mean. But folks, let me tell you what I literally tell every world leader I met with, and I've met them all. It's never against America. We have the finest fighting force in the world. Not only do we have the largest economy in the world, we have the most productive workers in the world. And given a fair shot, extraordinary things. We've had candidates before who attempted to get elected by appealing to our fears. but they've never succeeded because we do not scare easily. We never bow. We never bend. We never break when confronted with crisis. No, we endure. We overcome. And we always, always, always move forward. That's why I can say with absolute conviction, I am more optimistic about our chances today than when I was elected as a 29-year-old. This century is going to be the American century. History of the journey of America. And God willing, Hillary Clinton will write the next chapter in that journey. We are America, second to none, and we own the finish line. Don't forget it. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Come on. We're America.
Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, delivering a blistering attack on Donald Trump. He doesn't have a clue about the middle class. Biden said, not a clue, and then everyone started chanting, not a clue, not a clue. And he also said, Jake, no major nominee has ever known less about national security.
It was a very, and achieve, and America is great. We endure, we overcome, we always move forward. And also, we've talked this week about how there hasn't been much in terms of appealing directly to the white middle-class voters, the blue-collar workers that Donald Trump has attracted so far. Middle-class Joe from Scranton and his wife Jill. This was a Trump does not care about the middle class. My nickname in Washington was Middle-Class Joe. I know it wasn't meant as a compliment. They were saying I wasn't sophisticated, but I am pushing for the middle class and fighting for the middle class. And Hillary Clinton will fight for the middle class too. It was a testimony to her as Middle-Class Joe.
This was the vice president you and I have covered for so many years. Passionate, explosive.
I don't think any of us expected actually that it would only be 12 minutes long. He was very passionate. And let's remember also, I mean, this could be the last speech he ever gives to a Democratic convention. I mean, nobody really knows what Joe Biden is going to do next. So this was, in many ways, his swan song. He may never have an audience like he just did. And boy, did the people love him. They love Joe Biden.
They certainly do. And the tribute to his son, Beau Biden, who passed away, was so moving to so many of us who knew Beau as well.
Beau was a great guy. I knew him personally. And I mean, early in his career, and then, of course, his son, Beau, not long ago, to brain cancer. And he had a message for those individuals out there who also have suffered and lost loved ones, that life goes on, and there will be a time. The memory of Obama, an extraordinary speech, certainly that in this hall reverberated loud.
I mean, the word vintage is really appropriate here. That was vintage Joe Biden, and he did exactly what I'm sure Hillary Clinton wanted him to do, because no one had more of a Donald Trump.
Using language that everybody,
But also a line who would want that as their brand, their shtick, their moniker. The only thing I disagree with Joe Biden on tonight is when he gave up to Michelle Obama by saying nobody's going to equal that speech because he came pretty damn close.
yeah, and there was
I'm not sure he meant that.
there was a sort of
I
righteous
think he knew that I
indignation.
think he knew he was there to do a job.
Yeah, I think there was a righteous indignation and anger there. It was almost like a coach on the field rousing the folks in this audience, rousing Americans, essentially saying, you're great, Americans have never let America down, and America owns the finish line. I thought it was fantastic. It was really his moment, and you can imagine he won't get a moment like this again.
I also thought, Paul, about your comment about Bill Clinton. He calls them speeches, he calls them talks. To me, that was a Joe Biden talk also.
Very conversational, except shorter than most Joe Biden talks. He was very disciplined. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. It was tough. It was strong. I got to tell you, I bet the other one I was rolling my eyes while they were singing what the world needs now is love, speak love. No, the Democrats. Joe Biden was fine in my party.
Jeffrey Lawrence is a Trump supporter.
Well, surprisingly, I disagree. You know what all of this reminds me tonight, so far, and last night? In 1984, there was a Apple commercial that they played during the Olympics of, everybody was like a robot. They were listening.
It's the 1984 Orwellian.
Right. And somebody comes along in color and hurls the sledgehammer. Donald Trump is the sledgehammer. And the message that's going out here to people at home.
New York is being introduced, considered a presidential run, decided not to as a third-party candidate. Let's listen.
Thank you. Kasim, thank you for that kind introduction. An outsider to deliver an convention speech. Now, I am not here as a member of any party, to any party platform. I am here for one reason, to explain why I believe it is impelled Clinton as the next president of the United States. To ask you to join with fathers arrived here in Philadelphia to forge a new nation. They didn't come as Democrats or Republicans or to nominate a presidential candidate. They came as patriots who feared party politics, and I know how they felt. I've been a Democrat, I've been a Republican, and I eventually became an independent because I don't believe that either party has a monopoly on good ideas or strong leadership. When I enter the voting booth each time, I look at the candidate, not the party label. I have supported elected officials from both sides of the aisle, and probably not many people in this room can say that. But I know there are many watching at home who can. And now they are carefully weighing their choices. I understand their dilemma. I know what it's like to have neither party fully represent my views or values. Too many Republicans blame immigrants for problems, and they stand in the way of action on climate change and gun violence. Meanwhile, many Democrats, I think wrongly, blame the private sector for our problems, and they stand in the way of action on education and deficit reduction. They're with Hillary Clinton. But let me tell you, whatever our disagreements may be, I've come here to say we must put them aside.